Good morning. Well, I slept much better last night. That night of Astro on the first day of this trip really screwed me up. Yesterday my decision making wasn't great. I had a plan B and a plan C during this trip and various things that I wanted to do, but as is often the case with landscape photography, the plans all go to pot when the weather doesn't play ball. For this morning, I was hoping for the forecast inclement weather. I was hoping for driving rain, but instead we seem to have strong wind. The tide isn't quite where I wanted it either for the groynes I wanted to shoot on the Menai Straits this morning. I think I'm going to stick with the plan anyway, though. I think I'm going to wander down to those groynes and see what they look like. Looks like there's a clear gap in the east, so the sun should pierce through. I was almost tempted this morning to go off and find a grand vista, go up to Trifan or something like that and shoot one of the classic scenes. But I'm right here where I stayed last night. It was a nice secluded spot, and I thought it'd be better not to drive too far. But yeah, I'm going to check out this composition that I had planned. It might be one for the future, and then I'll have a cup of tea at the car and decide on an activity for the middle of the morning before I make my journey home. I'm sure there's one other place that I can pack in. So we appear to have a little gap in the clouds on the horizon. This image would do much better if it was super moody and it was high tide, so the groynes were covered. But I'm going to do my best with what we have. Small amounts of rain are coming in periodically, so I might need to control the camera there. Might need to set up the umbrella while I'm shooting if it gets really heavy. Let me talk you through my composition. So, glad I'm shooting in that direction this morning. Every single other direction is boring. This way, which is stormy and beautiful. Not really suitable to the subject, but this one's really difficult. A high tide would make all the difference. It would simplify everything. You've got so much mess. You've got strewn seaweed everywhere. You've got boulders out on the mud flats, and it's really difficult, like forest photography, to get the position right where the groynes aren't intersecting each other unpleasantly. I've got no idea whether this is going to come out. It might be quite garish. There's a lot of green on the groynes, so when I bring up the shadows, it might clash horribly with the sky, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to wait around for another few minutes and see whether any more light gets through. Spectacular morning though. So the way I go about composing a shot like this is a hybrid of a few techniques. So first of all, I'll close one eye and use my head to change my perspective, so that I can see kind of what the camera sees, and then I can see through the kind of parallax motion of objects that are different distances away how they intersect when I bob my head and move it up and down. Once I've found a rough composition, that is, I start on that, and then I'll set to fine-tuning the composition on the camera. And for this image, I bumped the exposure all the way up so that I could really see the colours in the shadows, because the greens on these groynes create a different tonal value to the black part. That creates another layer of separation in this image. So I can have groynes intersecting as long as the tonal value of the intersecting parts is different, because then it creates the contrast and you can see that there's depth in the image. As I recorded this video, I thought the worst day had been the day before on the salt marshes, but I was quite pleased and surprised that that image turned out well. By far my least favourite frame from this trip is this colourful image of the groynes. They were not a suitable subject for the colour in the sky. Out on the mudflats there are some nice stones that I could have trudged out to, and there was a river outlet just around the corner. I used to always chase saturated sunrise skies, but this image is a prime example of how saturation needs the right subject, and even then, it can often be a distraction. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week for episode 5 of my North Wales summer trip.